Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to episode 2 of the Millenniare Mindset. For those of you that don't know, the Millenniare Mindset is a new series that I've just started, and basically it talks a lot about the millionaire mindset of the millennial generation. I want to talk to you guys about a lot of things that I think about as a millennial, and I know a lot of you do too, millennial or not. I think that the thought process behind the millennial generation a lot of the time has a lot of richness to it, and sometimes we might not act on the things that we think about, but I hope that this series is going to be a way to really pull all of that energy out of you and get you to act on it in the real world, because we have so much potential as a millennial generation, and we really just need that little push and a little bit of motivation to get things started. So I hope this does that for you. But if you haven't seen the last video, please go check it out. I will link that in the description. Be sure to check it out. I really think you guys will like it, and I think this series can really help a lot of us out, including myself. I love talking about this kind of stuff with people and really want to sit down and talk to you guys about the real stuff, you know, the meaty stuff, the good stuff. But anyway, without further ado, welcome to episode 2 of the Millenniare Mindset. So ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about fear and how it literally is meant to ruin you. As creatures of habit, a lot of us stick to the things that make us feel comfortable. Whether it's a relationship gone bad, a job that's completely not suited for you, a living situation, a car, a friendship, anything that it is, we find comfort in things that we just settle for. Emphasis on the word settling. We don't choose a lot of these things. We just find ourselves in these situations, and sometimes we're too comfortable to leave. It's just about making choices, making changes in your lives that really push you to try harder, work harder, be better, be smarter, just be more you. And sometimes we're left in situations that we don't feel entirely us in, but we also don't leave because we find some sort of weird, twisted little sense of comfort, and we don't want to leave that. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the phrase, do one thing a day that scares you, but I'm sure you've heard something along those lines. And now you might be asking, okay, why did this phrase come about, or how did it come about? It's because of humans. We tend to do the same thing every single day. We find some sort of comfort in routine. And don't get me wrong, routine is not a bad thing. Routine is something that keeps us disciplined, it keeps us in check, it keeps us kind of consistent, okay? But being consistent is different from being comfortable. Being consistent is keeping up to par with everything. Being comfortable is just doing things for the hell of it. We're not trying to do that in our lives. At least I'm not, and I know most of you aren't either. I'm not just trying to settle in my life for things that make the time pass or make the time go by quicker. I really want to enjoy it to the fullest and know that I did everything I could to get the maximum out of it. Being in a situation that makes you comfortable is not going to do that for you. I think the hardest part is taking the first step towards something that makes you uncomfortable, because that literally is 50% of the battle, if not more. It's always a transition period into something new that makes you feel most uncomfortable, but once you push through that, you'll be absolutely fine. Prime example in my life is YouTube. I started this channel back in 2010 or 2011, I believe. I was in high school and I wanted to start posting videos at that point, and I didn't. It's 2018 now. It's literally 7 or 8 years later, and now I'm finally starting. But why did it take me that long? Because I was scared, and it was one of those things that I just didn't want to deal with. So I kept settling for not posting videos and seeing all these other people post amazing content and thinking, man, I want to do that too. Like, that looks awesome. And seeing how amazing the platform of YouTube is and how much I was missing out on made me realize, like, what the hell am I doing? You have to find comfort in uncertainty. You have to find comfort in the unknown, because if everything becomes too predictable in life, you're not going to have fun. You're not going to be challenging yourself. You're not going to be enjoying your life the way that you should. And frankly put, you're wasting your time. Do whatever it is that scares you, because I promise you, once you do that, you will realize that it really wasn't that scary. You probably have far more potential than you gave yourself credit for, and it might actually be something that you enjoy. Stop fearing things and stop letting them overwhelm you, because everything that's overwhelming you is in here. Fear is almost something that has a sense of its own, and it attracts more fear, and it's one of those negative virtues that really just attracts more negativity. And I promise you, the more you feed into it, the more it's going to grow. There are so many situations that I'm sure you have experienced or you've seen other people experience where fear has been fed and it's only multiplied. For example would be university. I myself had so many situations where I was writing exams and I was extremely fearful of the results, and I just noticed that I would shut down and I would be extremely anxious and unnerved and just be absolutely terrified to be writing an exam when I had studied for decades prior to, and I thought I knew all the material properly. But then when you sit down to write this exam and you get absolutely fearful of the situation and the circumstance that's in front of you, you shut down because that fear is fed, that fear multiplies, that fear really, really just stops you from accomplishing anything. Another perfect example of fear, and I'm literally getting chills thinking about how perfect this is It. The book, the movie, whatever form of this production that you're familiar with. I'm talking about the movie that just recently came out. A perfect example of fear, because you see that it tears the kids down to the ground, it terrorizes them, and literally makes them so fearful about everything because they don't deal with it at first. And the more that they think about it and the more that they feed into it, the worse it gets. But the second that they deal with it, it's gone. There's no such thing as a fearful force that's going to weigh you down, because why? You dealt with it. You dealt with that fear, and what do you have to fear anymore? Nothing. So don't feed into the Pennywise in your life. Don't be fearful of it. Deal with it, because I promise you, the second that you start paying more attention to it in a way that's going to tackle it and challenge it, it's going to be gone. Face fear head on and really just try your best, because I promise you, nothing is that scary. And I know some of you might not agree, and you'll think, what about all these phobias, or what about all these anxieties? Now, that's a whole other video on its own. I apologize if I touched on anything slightly that might be controversial. I will address it in another video. Please bear in mind that I am a social science major, so I'm super, super sensitive to all this stuff too, and I don't mean to be using anything in a derogatory manner. I'm just saying a lot of what we do exists in our head. So the way that we face things, the way that we approach situations, oftentimes all starts up here. I'm not saying that any sort of emotional or mental illness is entirely made up in the mind. There are a lot of different psychological and physiological issues that exist due to chemical relations in our body. Again, like I said, whole other video. Right now, all I'm trying to tell you is you control whether you want to be scared of something or not. There's so much of life to live beyond your fear, and once you overcome that, you will realize that there really is light on the other side of the tunnel. Anyway, I'm sorry if I was rambling, guys. This is all just free flow, stream of consciousness type thing. I just want to talk to you guys, like I said, like we're friends, and like we're just talking about things casually, because a lot of this stuff is extremely important, but I think it's taken to a level that psychologists are either dealing with it or you're reading books about it. But in our social circles, we don't necessarily talk about fear and manifestation and self-loathe and all of that really in depth. So this is what I want to be the happy medium. I want us to just be able to sit down, talk about things casually, and not have them be topics like makeup or fashion or any of that. I mean, I love that stuff too, but I love this more. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't already, please turn on post notifications. Make sure you like, comment, and please subscribe. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to really let me know what your feedback is about this series. I've heard so much positive feedback, and I'm so overwhelmed with love and gratitude for you guys. Thank you so much for being on the same page as me and just giving me your honest thoughts, and generally just being amazing people with positive energy. I absolutely love it. So I look forward to sharing more of this series with you guys. I have so much content planned, and I can't wait to share it with you. And until next time, please take care and be sure to face that fear head on. See you later.